Okay, okay. There we go. There's the device. Use device timestamps. I don't know about defining it. Okay, there we go. Sorry about the mic thing. It has been a while since I've live streamed and all my software is like, what the fuck's going on? So let me restart this thing, guys. It's your boy Nick, HOUTX Trader. Sorry about the sound. It is December the 18th at 7:18. We're looking at the market before it opens and trying to figure out what's going on. And I was in the process of breaking down gold, guys. This is for training. This is not financial advice. If you need financial advice, go see a planner, okay? I was looking at gold. I was trying to explain gold, and excuse the moving averages. I don't normally use those. I was just messing around this morning and looking at moving averages. So anyways, that's the 200 and that's the 100. But again, I don't use moving averages to trade off of. So I'm just going to hide these because I just added them and they're no big deal. Anyway, so with gold, we obviously see that it's bullish. Okay. And so this is the trade that I called out, uh, you know, last week, 2 weeks ago, whatever it was, on the 14th of November. So like a month ago. And I said, look, guys, order block, break out of the order block, and it left a fair value gap. It tried to retest, but didn't retest the whole thing. So it left a fair value gap. So I just pulled a fib top to bottom, and I know gold loves a 78.6. So with DAC days and with the Bored Ape guys, and you can check this on Twitter, that's the entry that I called out. I mean, zero drawdown, and it pumped hard. So what has it done since then? Okay, it obviously came up, cleared out this order block, but did not hit the main order block. Okay, so it rejected. So it came out, took this liquidity out, rejected, building back up. Now I am in a trade and I'm worried about this trade, but I have to be in it. Okay, there's a double top here, and this is a strong double top, and you have a huge sell off followed by a double top and then another sell off. So I think this has a lot of strength. So I'm buying very, very, very cautiously. Okay. And then I also noticed at the same time it set a double bottom. Again, the market is overall bullish. Therefore, I have reasons to be in a buy, but this is concerning that it had a huge sell off and a double top. Right. So I'm worried about that. And I see it and I recognize it. Even though I'm in a buy, I fully know that this is maybe a riskier proposition than normal. So let's just zoom in on what's got going on now, right? So I don't normally take trend line buys, but I was looking at this trend line here, right? And I do the same thing, right? First thing I always do is start off with a fib. So I fib top to bottom, right? 78, 88.6. Okay, so there's my buy zone. Price came down and touched my buy zone. So check mark number one. Look at the RSI. Oversold and being divergent. Check mark number two. Trend line break. Check line number three. So I've already got three things. Gold is overall bullish. Four check marks. Okay, so that's trend line, buy zone, RSI, overall bullish. So I've already got four reasons to buy the market. Now, what is missing? Okay, what's going in the opposite direction? Well, I do not like that we are so close to this double bottom because, in my opinion, it could very easily continue to sell off, take out that liquidity, find some area down here, and then push up. Okay, so like I recognize that, but again, when you've got four reasons telling you to jump in this market, continue the bull trend, you kind of got to be riskier. So that's what I am. I'm in this trade. Um, that's the reason why I took it. I've got four good reasons to take it, and I've got a couple of reasons not to take it. I don't like the fact that it hasn't really cleared out liquidity on that double bottom, but let's look at what it did do. So again, so here we are, and I'm wondering, okay, I'm looking at this and saying to myself, why is this not just taken off? Right? It hit the 78.6 and it broke the trend line. Well, what the hell's going on? Right? So again, on the sell side, you see this block of candles and it's come back up and it's retested the bottom of it. So, this is the opportunity for it to maybe sell off. But okay, so I'm always like thinking about liquidity. Where's liquidity? What is it trying to do? Well, what did it do now? It's building up liquidity on the bottom side. This bottom, that bottom, that bottom. All right. This is telling me that it's putting these bottoms in here to give itself enough power to break. And I think about that. I think about power and fuel. Does it have enough fuel, enough power to break and continue up. So this is what it's doing, right? So this is the reason why I stayed in the trade. I'm in the trade, down here somewhere. I see it building liquidity. I just saw it break that liquidity, and now look at the candle pushing up. So I'm having confidence that it now has enough liquidity that it needs to break up, and that's why I didn't exit the trade too early. I waited on it, and I'm waiting. Right. 1 second. Good morning. Are you going to school, baby? You look cute. Oh, you look so cute in your pink dress. No, we're not going in the truck today. Mama take you to school, okay? Dad have to work. Okay? Okay. So that's what I'm looking at on gold, right? So let it take out that liquidity that it set up here on the small time frames. I'm hoping to see that if it has enough to finally break through. If it has enough to finally break, this top here, and then again this top over here, then we're safe. If it breaks this top here, we're safe. So this is what I'd like to see. I'd like to see it just go through. But if it doesn't, at least break, maybe a little retest, break, and then maybe a little retest. I don't care if it does these retests, as long as it breaks this high. And for me, that's a true break of structure. If it breaks that little high right there. Now let's look at the left hand side, right? Look at the big gap we have here, right? Look at the big gap we have up here. So then if it breaks, look at that gap we have here. So if it breaks this structure right here, I'm fairly confident that it's going to come up and at least attack these two areas there. And that's a solid trade. We'll take profits, we'll move to break even, and we can relax, okay? So that's just kind of why I'm waiting on gold to see what's up. That's the reason why I took the trade. I realized that there's liquidity below it. It says a riskier trade than normal. But I mean, they're all risky, It is what it is. So in the discords and the board apes and the Bitopias and bit dogs and all that stuff, I posted this trend line and I posted the arrow break. If it breaks, it goes. We're in, and we are in. Normally speaking, I would have an entry here, and I would have my stop loss down here at the 1.1 on the fib. When I woke up this morning and it had broke and it had done this, I just went ahead and reduced my risk to the bottom of the swing. So now this is our my now stop loss now, and again my take profit's going to be way up there. So we're really trying to, it is what it is. That's just the way I'm doing it. So let's look at Bitcoin real quick. So again, Bitcoin obviously super bullish. We got into this trade here to there, right? And this is the one that I called out yesterday. And again, 78.6, perfect entry. Going with the trend. So we had trend line, we had 78.6, we had RSI oversold, and we're going with the trend. Again, there's the four things that we needed, and we called the take profit at the 2.36 extension. So there it is. There's our trade for yesterday, and I closed that trade out. And that's a perfect 3 to 1 trade. There it is. So then what am I looking at this morning? Well, the same thing yesterday afternoon. I put in a buy limit last night before I went to bed, and it's basically the same thing. Let me just delete all this for clarity. And Fibonacci, top to bottom, 78.6, as you can see right here. The RSI, when it did get down to here, was then oversold, and we're going with the trend. Now, let's think about what's bad. Well, it broke the trend line, right? And I was not expecting it to have this much power on the sell side. Like, look at that sell off. I would have hoped it would have sold, retrace, sold, retrace, sold, hit my buy zone, and then shot off. Okay? It did not do that. So that is concerning. At the same time, it did break this low. I mean, this is why we have a proper stop loss at 10%. So it did not hit my stop loss, but it is concerning that it broke the low. So a big sell-off, break the low, and break trend line. I'm a little on edge for this one. So if I do take this, or I mean, I am in the buy. If I am going to take this buy, and I'm probably going to take my profit in this area here, which is the top of this little area there. The 78.6 is probably where I'm gonna take my profit, and just call it a day, and then leave a runner obviously because we're in bullish and it could go. But if we look at Bitcoin also like on a higher time frame, let's just go to the daily. People always ask like, well, where is it Bitcoin going? Where do you think the top is? And so for me, it's just Fibonacci's, right? So on the last Fibonacci push from the bottom to the top, right? You could clearly see that's a push, that's a retracement. So I Fibonacci that move, and where's the 60.18 extension? Well, it's exactly where we are now. So if we just draw a little line right on the 61.8, you see the red line. Let's go down to the hour time scale. Let's refresh this. You can see how close we are. Let me get this where you can see it. How close we are to that 61.8, right? We are in the area of the final TP of 109, 888, 110 area. So is it going to get there? I hope it does. This could be the top. I hope it's not because I'm going to buy. But I'm just realizing the fact that, hey, we're kind of getting to maybe the top of this thing where maybe we might have a serious retracement. Now, that doesn't mean, you just recognize it, right? It doesn't mean you trade a particular way or whatever. It's just, you just recognize it. And then you could also start to pull these other fibs, these more internal fibs. You see this up here at 111, right? So you see this extension here at 1095. Anyways, and if you look at that TP extension right there in the 236, and then it turned around. So you don't automatically change your strategy and change what you're doing just because you realize it's getting there, but you do just pay attention to it and you realize it. And if you do see a gigantic sell-off, you're like, okay, well then maybe that is it. Now, in my opinion, this right here was just a liquidity grab, right? When we had this huge sell-off, a huge liquidity grab back to our original buy spot, and then that gave us enough fuel to set an all-time high, right? So once I see this gigantic sell-off, I don't think necessarily that the market has changed and we're now bullish. But once I realize that that's just a huge sell-off to get liquidity, I'm kind of thinking that if this many people sold right inside here, that maybe that's we're getting exhausted. Like maybe we're kind of get tired until we need a break. Maybe we'll sell a little bit before we start buying back up, right? So we might have a little bit further to go. I'm starting getting more cautious now on the buys. I do realize they're saying we're in the middle of bull season. What, baby? Come here. I know, but she's outside. You want to come here? Come here. Come here. You want to trade? Tell everybody hello. Say, look at my beautiful pink dress. We're going to school today. Can you say hi? Say hi. Can you say it? Say hi, YouTube. Hi, hi, YouTube. Yeah. So we're gonna buy Bitcoin, okay? Okay. You want to sell Bitcoin? Why do you want to sell it? No, we're not gonna sell. We're gonna buy Bitcoin and we're gonna hold it until you're 35 years old. Okay? Give me this. No. All right. So we have 732. The market just opened. Bitcoin didn't really have much of a reaction, and unfortunately, it's like gold's doing the same thing. So maybe we're gonna wait for the 830. But I wanted to jump in and just show the reason why I took the gold trade, the reason why I took the Bitcoin trade, kind of just break down my thinking and my worries, right? So not only is it like, you know, confidence to take the trade, but also see what the other side looks like. Um, so that so if the market does a certain thing, I'm already ahead of it. I'm already thinking where the sell's at. Why are people selling now? Okay, I'm buying, but why are they selling? Where are more sellers going to jump in to take the price, back south? And I need to be ahead of all this stuff. So I think an important lesson to learn is for a lot of people maybe who are just trading or trying to figure out how to trade or all that is to be looking down the road. I've already have the liquidity marks off. I already have the higher time frames. I already have the Fibonacci's and the extensions and the areas that I think profit's going to go to. Like I'm not just waking up, getting on a 15-minute chart or a 5-minute chart and playing some strategy like it's played out. It's already I've already thought about it days in advance. I've already been waiting for the entry days in advance. Um, Sounds good. Good. Damn, what's a blessing. Now that a dream, can't wait to have a family. Yeah. 3-year-olds are crazy, bro. Uh, yeah, 35 before you know it. No shit. So let's look at a couple other things since we're sitting here and just the market's fucking dead. To be honest with you, I bought Jupiter a couple days ago, and as you can see, we're a little bit drawdown. I have a stop loss put on there, but it's not true. It's just marking to where I bought Jupiter. So if we look here, I bought Jupiter down here at 77 cents. I sold it at $1.30. All right, so I took that profit, and then price came back down. And again, I'm just looking for the Fibonacci's. So the way I like to do my Fibonacci's, right, is we can start to build them on top of each other. Buy up, good retracement. This is the new bottom for the new Fibonacci. Buy up, retracement, but it's like let me look. I didn't really pick that as the bottom, which technically I could have 61.8, right? I drew it up. I don't know why. I just had a feeling that that wasn't the bottom. That's just liquidity grab push up. So I drew my Fibonacci there. There's my buy zone. I see it holding the 61.8 from the higher deal, and I just bought. Like when these altcoins like this, I'm not really trying to get the sniper crazy entries. I'll just buy and just hold it. Like I seriously think Jupiter's going to go up through the moon. So if I don't catch a super good entry, like I don't care. Like I'll just hold it and we'll sell it later on, right? So this is not like the day trading account where I'm using leverage or whatnot. This is just straight buy. So I got there at the 61.8 after I seen it. Again, this is liquidity being built up. We can kind of zoom in on this, right? Liquidity being built up. This was the liquidity grab. This was the stop loss hunt, if you will. People like to call it stop loss hunt. But this is, guys, this is why we don't play support and resistance, right? This is support all day long. It's building up liquidity. What's the market going to do? It's going to quote unquote stop loss hunt it. But we're not there. Like that's not where we're at. We're down here in the 78.6 waiting for that to get hunted, right? This is why I don't do the whole support resistance thing, because support and resistance is for suckers and they're going to get smashed. And that's exactly what happened. And we wait on the other side of support and resistance for it to get smashed, and then we go with it. So that was a liquidity grab, in my opinion. As you can see, it had a strong push up, but then it came back down. So what is it telling me? It's telling me the market does not have enough power, enough fuel to continue to break up. Okay, well then let it come back down here, maybe set a double bottom, and then push up. So I bought. Not rocket science. If it goes down low, then screw it. Oh, well, it is what it is. I'll just hold it. So there's my Jupiter. My Solana, again, I transferred a bunch of Bitcoin, transferred it into Solana. Again, and so now I'm buying Solana, right? Bought Solana there, bought Solana there. I don't care that I'm in drawdown, but if you're trying to day trade this, which I'm not day trading, I'm just buying and holding, right? If we look at the pattern of the market, first leg, second leg, third leg, right? 1, 2, 3, push down. Right into our buy zone. Look at the wicks, how the wicks are holding the buy zone. Now, we did have this one come down lower and break the 88.6, but then it just turned right back above it and pushed back up, right? So, again, I think that this three-leg push down, 1, 2, 3, is exhausted, and now we should be pushing back up, so I'm good there. My boy Shaggy is texting me. Sup, homie? What up? What up? Well, Shark. Who is texting me? What's going on? Bitcoin on-chain metrics points to substantial growth. So that's your boy, Pixel Rainbow. If you guys know him, that's him texting me Bitcoin shit this early in the morning. Gotta love the game. So yeah, so there it is. There's Solana. And if I was smart, I would have waited and bought down here, but I didn't really care. I was just buying. But when we did see this come down, I put this red arrow there. And so that red arrow has been there for days now, over a week, and it's playing out exactly kind of how we thought. Come down, find the buying zone, come back up here to the sell zone to tap into this liquidity, come back down into the order block, right? And now we should find the push, which is the top of the arrow. So everything's working out well there. Oh, what up, Tom? What up, Tom? My boy Doopy from LA, all the way from LA to Houston. Um, yeah, Merry Christmas to you too, Jason. So what up, Tom? So yeah, so that's Solana's just playing out the way we wanted it. Um, So yeah, no big deal. Again, I'm not leverage trading Solana and I'm not leverage trading Jupiter. I'm just trading those, just buying in those. I am, however, leverage trading Bitcoin, and as you see, we're in some profit there, Mr. Doopaloop. Right, we're waiting for this fucker to hopefully pop off. So there's our Bitcoin buy. We are in some profit, and let's check on gold real quick. And gold's just stalling. It's just waiting for 830. But okay, so if we think about what it's doing, right? Always the why. Why is it doing what it's doing? It's just consolidating because it's going to go fucking bananas. All right. And I don't know which way it's going to go bananas. I mean, it broke the trend line. We've already had the 78.6. And in higher time frames, we are getting towards the oversold on the RSI. As you can see down here, we're getting the oversold and we're getting divergent. So, you know, if I was betting, I would bet it's going to go bananas to the buy side. Gold is also bullish. Therefore, I'm in bias. But, it is what it is. Um, and let's just look. I mean, on Facebook the other day, I told people to buy Zeus. I should have bought it my damn self. I was waiting for a pullback. And so this is kind of how I look at these markets. I try to find some inconsistencies and some areas where the market might want to come back to get. Again, it's all, for me, I call it fuel, rocket fuel or liquidity, whatever you want to call it, right? So we had the breakout here, obviously. We have a little bit of gap there because this is the order block, and then we have a breaker block. We have this area where it has not come back and touched the order block. This is, however, a solid retracement. So I don't know, since this right here did not come all the way back down, I don't think it's going to, because now this is an order block and it popped off. So now what do we want to see? I want to see it come back down, retest, and then go. So if I look on the chart, look at these sell candles right here, right? So this is the area that I think that Zeus, if we're going to start trying to buy in Zeus, we need to be buying in this area right here. And if you want to leverage trade it, put your stop loss below that order block. Let me clean up all this stuff, and we'll do this again. All right, so there would be the entry where those sell candles are. Your stop loss would be below that little swing, and let's wait. So what do we want to see? Well, we've already seen a good double top. So what do we want to see now? We've had a push. We've had a double top. We want to see the second leg and the third leg come down into our area and then buy back up. So then if you're a Fibonacci guy like me, you measure the second leg out, and you'll see that hopefully the TP extension will line up right into your area where you want to buy. Again, because we have these sell candles sitting in here, right? We want to buy in that area right there. So if it was me, I'm going to be waiting over here to buy Zeus. And I like to think about this the same way on all this stuff, right? So we look at SUI, all right, popped off, and it's waving up, but look at the big fair value gap, and look at the order block down here. So, and I think if we even go out further on Mr. SUI here, let me see if I have it marked up. No, that would be it. So again, it's super bullish. I don't know if it's going to come all the way back down to here, but we do have the three, just like on the sell side, we have the on the buy side. We have the three push. 1, 2, 3, right? We have three tops. And so if this does come down and start to break trend, let's see if we can catch a pullback and then maybe start to short, because ultimately we want to come down here and fill in this gap before we buy. Right? So if you're going to leverage trade, that could be a position to take, or you just wait for the buys, which get back down here in the $2.50 range. And then, of course, we'll just look at Bonk real quick. Someone asked me on the Bored Apes to look at Bonk. And again, Bonk is doing kind of what we're talking about the other one's doing, right? So what is it doing? It's Elliott waving. It's way back down. First leg, a little retracement. Second leg, retracement. Third leg. So this could be the bottom of Bonk right now, because it's done the three leg Elliott push, right? And then if we start looking at these Fibonacci's, let's just say we pull the Fibonacci. Let's do two things. Let's delete this one at first. Let's try to clarify. All right, so here's the buy zone, the 78.88.6 on the buy side. So if we're going to buy, this is where we need to be sitting and waiting, okay? So there's our buy side Fibonacci. Now let's delete it to clear the chart up. Now we know, right? Look at the first push off here. There's the first real push, top to bottom. Where is the TP extension? sitting exactly above our buy zone. It's also this support turn resistance area, right? Now I do see a little bit of sell candles here. I do see that good sell candle there. And it looks like the wick of that candle came back and negated that one. So I'm not really worried about that sell candle. And again, this same thing, let me zoom in so you guys can see what I'm talking about. Um, you see how this wick, that sell candle came all the way back down and got to that sell candle. So this sell candle doesn't matter anymore, right? This pushed up and then look, it sold back down and look at these wicks, came back and took out that send. This is healthy market flow. Pushed off and then sold back down the bottom of this candle, took out that candle. You see what I'm saying? This came back down, this candle, then took out these two candles. So this is perfect healthy flow. What has not happened? Well, these candles here are kind of virgin. We have a little bit of a wick here. This candle pushed off, and you could say that that kind of topped it, but it hasn't really came back into the meat of it, right? So when I look at this stuff, I kind of say, okay, well, look, in my opinion, these candles right here haven't been retested. Those are sell candles. Somewhere, somebody is shorting and selling those, or it's liquidity. Let's see if we can get the market to come back into this area. So I start to stack stuff. I have order block that's untested. I have Fibonacci extensions in the area. I have the buy zone, which is the buy Fibonacci in the area. And, if we want to, I really like looking at the second leg, which my opinion is from here to here, there to there. And the 236 now is matching up perfectly with the original. So if this is the original one, pull back, and there's the second leg. The 236 extension on the second leg matches a 61.8 on that first leg, and so this is kind of the area where I'm looking at then. Right around this. Fuck, I don't even know how many zeros that is, but you get the idea. That's the area that I'm gonna be looking to buy when it comes to the old bonk. All right, Solana or the win. Gold will continue down. Yeah, well, a lot of people are thinking gold will continue down, but I think short term, like I broke it down. I think I think it's going to buy up right now. And the reason why I think it's going to buy up, I've went over, but I mean, look at how this order block is untested, right? We have this clean double top, which is good liquidity. Again, I'm worried because we do have liquidity below right here. So I think it very well could come down, clear that liquidity out, find another buying area, then push up. Like I understand that. I am concerned about it, but that doesn't mean that I'm not going to try to hit this trade. And if we come to the smaller time frames, I'll explain why I'm hitting the trade again. Again, Fibonacci top to bottom because we're up. Gold overall is bullish. I mean, for the history of man, right? But in the last year, obviously it's been bullish. We look at the 78.6, 88 points fib. That's where I like to live. Price came down, hit my fib perfectly, and there was my entrance. I had my limit set, okay? Pushed off. Now we also have the trend line break to the top side. We also have divergence. You can see we're down here. The RSI is oversold. Price is getting lower as the RSI is getting weaker. Therefore, that is divergent. So I've got gold overall in a buy trend, trend line break in my fib, RSI divergent. I have reasons to take a buy. I have reasons to take a risk. Is it the best? No. And the only reason why I say it's not the best is because I see the double bottom sitting here. I see this liquidity, right? So yes, it has me worried. Could we lose this trade? We could lose all trades, but that doesn't mean I'm not willing to take a risk to hit this fucking banger. Because really, it needs to come up here and take out this double top. So if we do catch this, and this gets anywhere, again, if it breaks these levels and the gold prices start to get up here, it's going to take out this double top. There's no doubt about it. And I'm going to hold the whole bag, and I'm not going to start taking profits early. But that's the fucking banger that I need once a month to really put some serious capital. So we're up 40% last month. And it's these trades, they can fucking exponentially grow your account. So, on the stop loss, normally, guys, I have my stop loss down at 1.1 on the fib because I'm playing the fib as an entry. But on this one, it broke trend line. It did everything. I don't want to see it come back down here. I moved my stop loss just a hair below that little swing low. Because if you're a trend liner, that's where your stop loss is going to be. I'm not a trend liner, but I I'm just protecting my account. Matter of fact, I might have even broken even. I might have moved my stop loss to break even, but if not, it's right below that little swing low. So I'm risking very little to have an exponential account growth to hit a fucking banger. So we'll check that. And that's the trade we need to be watching within the next hour because market will be open here in 7:30, and of course Bitcoin's fucking around, but it's all good. Yeah. Anybody have any questions on any of that rambling I just had? Medium term, I mean, yeah, it could very well sell off and take off that liquidity. I see it, my boy, but I am cautiously buying. So again, and I want some of you guys, if you're newer traders, right? If you look at the chart, I already have the order blocks marked off. I have the last fib. I have the fair value gaps. I have liquidity. I have all this stuff marked off. So if you guys are trying to get into trading and you're looking, make sure that the day before, days in advance before you take a trade, you see where everything is, right? I mean, you go back here to Bitcoin, look at my charts are marked off from way, way back, right? So I do end up deleting a lot of stuff like I'm doing right now to keep the charts kind of clear, but you want to at least be able to know where your last Fibonacci's are, where your throw some trend lines on there just for reference. Throw where your liquidity areas are, like down here. Down here is a double bottom liquidity, and so you're not going into the trades blind. You've had all this shit planned out, and so for me, I really like trading with limit orders, buy and sell limits, because I already know where the target is, or in my mind, I say I think the target needs to go here, and I look up fair value gaps, order blocks, inequalities in the market, Fibonacci's, whatever, and put my limits in, and I just go to sleep or just walk away, go do something, and let them hit. This is kind of what the what's his name, fucking something FX guy does, the set and forget. It's kind of the same mentality. You're using your technical analysis to find entries, but then you're removing the psychology part of it, because that's where most people lose their trades, right? It's the psychology part. They get scared, they close too early, whatever. So set your limits, and just fucking go for there. ICP, Insane Clown Posse, and CHS. So ICP, um, hmm, I know ITC. I'm not sure if I know what ICP is. What is ICP and CHS? CHZ? I know what CHF is, Swiss franc. I don't know. What do you mean by that, Tom? I don't drink Fago. I'm not an ICPer. But YouTube is not responding. Go figure. Let's see. For some reason, it says that my YouTube is internet computer. Yeah, my computer's fucked. Probably. Oh, chills. Both. I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't look at those. I guess we could look it up real quick if we're fucking bored. But let's just say it's called crypto ICP. Crypto ICP. ICP market cap. Let's look at this. Look at this one, I guess. This is what you're talking about right here, ICP. And the other one is CHZ. Is that right? CH what? CHZ? Chills. Let's use this one right here on Binance. CHZ futures contract UST. Let's use this one. ICP. Fucking shitcoins, I guess. Oh, it's been around for a while. Look at that. On the daily chart, look at that fucking pump. Good lord. There's a pump and dump. Okay, so we just zoom out, right? And we kind of zoom in. So obviously it looks like we've had some sort of break. Pretty obvious. Downward trend, break trend. So then for me, it would be this. All right, let's just do a top to bottom real fast. All right, 78.6. Hi. uh, I mean, I live at the 78.6. And if I was to tell you this days ago, I would have said buy right there. I mean, it just fucking works, man. I don't know how to explain this to you guys. You see it right here on a random chart that I've never pulled up. I just pulled a fib top to bottom, and then I'm like, oh, let's just buy it to 78.6, and look at how the wicks hold it. Look at how it's holding it as support. So I mean, you had all the way from July through November, it was holding it as support to jump in, and that's on the daily chart, right? So you could say the same thing on the flip side, like where is it going to start to sell now? So okay, well let's just pull a fib on the sell side. Right? It hasn't gotten there yet. It hasn't gotten to our sell area, right? So, there's a good chance that, okay, this popped off. It's going to retrace, probably come back down to this order block and then buy back up because it needs to at least come to here. Now, what if when it gets here, it's a possibility that it comes back down, gets some more fuel and buys up, or it could just, it could just fly. We don't know. That's looking too far in advance. Let's just, but if it was me right now and you're trying to find a buy in there, right? So okay, this is what I would do then. And this is sketchy because I don't like the fact that if we're maybe buying right above that, we would want all that to get taken out. But what you could do is again, let's just look right here, 78.6. All right, we're right at the bottom of this order block. So we could say that, okay, well, this is the first leg, retracement, second leg, retracement, third leg. Hopefully by this time your RSI is also oversold and perhaps divergent. You have the order block sitting right there. You got your buy zone sitting right here. Though it's a good risk to reward to try to buy in this area, right? Try to buy in that area. You'd have your stop loss just below in case it wants to try to take out all this liquidity. Because that's a very real possibility. It wants to sweep through all this shit one more time and come down here before it pops off. But if you wanted to buy, I would probably wait for that. Wait for that $8.75, 70 something cents. Question on Discord. You can type questions here too, player. Um, no sound on YouTube, brother. At 7:18. Yeah, it was a while ago. We got that fixed. Um, I don't see any questions on Discord, dude. Maybe it's on one of these that are not. Maybe you didn't tag me. Not there. Where's your question? Just type your question in the chat right here. If you have a question, just type it here so I can see it. I don't want to go back and forth to Discord. So that's kind of what I think there, right? And so on the sell side, we see this huge liquidity block that it came and took out, the big order block. Only makes sense it's going to start to sell off, but we still have this double top and these wicks right here. We still have this order block up here before it sold down. So there's reasons for it to come back up. I would just sit and be patient for a good buy at this $8.50 area. And the same. Let's look at the other one again. It looks like probably the same chart from here. Quite a bit different actually, but it has broke. So let's just figure out then. So let's just go out even further and figure out where the bottom is. So if I'm going to draw a line across the bottom here, I see it's back into the original bottom, right? So this is the original bottom. That's the original order block where everyone put all their buys in. So we can just draw a little line, right? Somewhere in that general area, the order block. And so prices came back down and bottomed out, right? So a lot of people will say that this is technically bullish until it breaks this. You know, we're playing in this zone right here. So if you want to play within the zone, that's perfectly cool. A lot of people do that, right? And so simple mathematics, buy down here, sell up here, and you just play this back and forth until it breaks. And then once it does break, then you get into a long position, hold it forever. But in the meantime, you know, what are we looking at, right? So this is the beginning of the move right there, right? As you guys know, I like to sit inside here, sit in this area. If we come back down, let's say a little bit smaller of a time frame, like a 4 hour, let's reset. And what do we see inside of here? Okay. Well, let me just draw this. So we have the original push off, the order block, but this has came down and negated most of this order block right there, right? Push up, push down. This right here has negated this now. And so where's our last, what I call it, version? Well, we have some sell candles sitting right there. Let me zoom in. Those sell candles have not been hit yet, right? Those are the version sell candles now. So what I like to do is mark this off. You know, there's this version sell candle. So again, if we look at market flow, push up, push down, there's the order block that led to the higher push. And what did price do? Came right back down to that order block, okay? So now let me clean up all these squigglies because now we're going to get into this. Okay, so let's think about that. So now what we have then is the bottom here come down and took out this area. I'm going to draw the line like this because I want to capture these bottoms. So that is liquidity, if you ask me. That's the market being uh, inserts of large amounts of money to make the market push off in those two areas, right? There, motherfucker, did I forget? 1 second. Forget trash day. Okay, push off, right? And then we had another large insertion of money there and there. So a lot of people's stop losses, a lot of people's whatever you will, are sitting right there, right there. So before I buy, like one of my number one rules is I need to see liquidity taken out. I need to see people's trades taken out. So I want to see the market come down, take this shit out, go below this, find an area, and then buy back up. Right? Like number one rule. Okay. We also look at the Elliott wave. Right? First push, retracement. We're looking for a second push somewhere down in here. Perhaps another retracement, and then a third push. So if we get that, I love to measure the second leg. So what I'll do is I'll grab a Fibonacci, and I'll just show you on the first leg, but I really like to do it on the second leg. Draw the Fibonacci and see where the extensions are, see where the TPs are. Because whoever sold here have not taken their TPs yet. Okay? So push off, retracement to the 61.8, perfect Fibonacci retracement. Now we're looking for the 236 extension. All right? So that extension happens to be right where this little order block is and right on top of our buy zone. So if you can start to see things start to stack up. TP extensions, little order blocks, my buy zones. We'll use the RSI, and we'll start to paint a picture. And then we take educated entries. Perhaps our entry is right here. Sorry about that, wrong tool. You know, perhaps our entry is right here. You know, we'll have to see what the market does. Perhaps it's a little bit lower. It's in this area, but you know, this is kind of this is kind of how I do it. It just kind of makes sense that we're looking in this area, and then so I'd be buying. You know, you can be a little aggressive if you want because the crypto is so aggressive. You know, at the 7.5 cents. I always click the wrong fucking tool. buy in that general area, which would be a good buy, right? If you can get down to 7.5 cents as a good buy, and you're playing the zone, you're going up to 16 cents, you're doubling your money. And then again, you leave some, or you just buy and hold for the next 5 years and see what it does. But I think it needs to come back down a little bit lower, sweep out this liquidity, maybe hit this order block at 75 cents or 7.5 cents, and go from there. But that's just, I think it's just a good exercise and show you the way I look at it and just how I look at markets in general with liquidity and whatnot. So again, we broke here. We broke the trend line there. So with trend lines too, maybe enough people don't really say this enough. Look, you can have something that looks like this, right? And a lot of people will draw the trend line like that. Okay. Now here's the problem. When I trade trend lines, I've noticed that trend line that looks like that never holds. The trend line that holds is where this does this. All right. You need to have a solid retracement, and that's the trend line. All right. So if you're ever trading trend lines or you're using trend lines, be cautious of this trend line. This for some reason never works. That's why I'm not a huge trend liner, but I know how to use them, right? You see how this trend line is tight, and there hasn't been a solid retracement? The real trend line is probably right here. Now that we've had a good push back, right? Down, down, down. Solid pushback, and now that is where you want your trend line to be. And we could probably show you that example a million times over. All right, so the trend line is not necessarily right here or even right there because that's not a retracement. That's the retracement. And that's where the break really happened. All right. So again, the trend line is not tight like this or even like that. That's not it. You want to wait for the solid retracement, and I drew mine, as you can see, way over here. Just a little trend line trading for you. That's probably the real trend line, but it's okay. I'm still playing my zone, and yeah, we'll see how it goes. Again, take the risk. Yeah, so with the Fibonacci's, I stack them back and forth, right? Like, so in any, well, let's just use gold for example, because I'm trying to watch gold. So you need to have both, right? You need to be able to look at the bigger time frame and say, okay, we're bullish. I'm ultimately trying to buy. Where is my Fibonacci going to be in this particular time frame? Let's say the daily. Where is it going to be? So for me, I drew it here because this is the order block and there's the push, right? So for me, it makes sense that this is consolidation. It broke out. There's the move. There's my fib, 78.6. There's the OG entry that I called out a couple weeks ago, right? There's the buy. But that doesn't mean you can't come to smaller time frames and look for other entries in the meantime. Because if I miss this buy, let's just say that I missed that buy, what do I do? Do I wait for the market to come all the way up, set a new high, and then come all the way back down and then enter the trade? Like, dude, that could be months. There's no telling, right? So no, I'm not doing that. I'm on a higher time frame. I'm on a daily so that I already have those Fibonacci's marked off. So that way when price does get there, I'm not surprised. Hey, look, I've been waiting for this for 2 weeks now. But in the meantime, let's come down to the hourly time frame and figure out what the market is doing in the meantime. So we can come down lower and say, look, I'm trying to buy. Here's the move. Look at how aggressive this is. This is an Elliott wave retracement. 1 low, 2 low, 3 lows. It happens to be in my Fibonacci buy zone. So I can look at fibs on different time zones and figure out where the market's going, right? So, if I need to sell, even though the market's bullish, I can still come down and say, all right, well, let's look at this. Well, there's a sell, right? Obviously, the market sold off. It came back up, set a double top. Well, let's look at the Fibonacci. Am I trying to sell? Do I think the market needs to come back lower for some odd reason? Well, there's my order block, which is right at the 78.6, and the market hasn't hit that yet. So again, I'm drawing a picture. What is that telling me? Well, it tells me the market needs to come up here and hit this order block. It tells me it hasn't hit the 78.6 and it left a double top right here, which is liquidity for me. So what am I doing? I'm buying because now I think we need to hit the order block, the blah, 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 right? So you can buy and sell. You just need to start stacking the Fibonacci's and have a big picture. Okay, let's start the daily. Where does the market need to go? How's it going to get there? Let's go down a time frame. Where is the market now? Where does it need to go to target liquidity? Okay, let's look at that. And then we start going down. And you could do this all the way down to the 1 minute if you want to. Now, I don't do that. I know people who do. I mean, one of my best mentors, Austin Collins, Dak Days, Bored Ape Solana Club, we used to show me the Fibonacci's on a 30-second, on a 15-second time frame. And it's just like, fuck, man, it's back and forth crazy all day. And have videos on how to scalp using the same strategy. I mean, if we wanted to come down to the 1 minute time frame and scalp this shit, we could do that. But for my sanity, I don't do that, right? But every one of these, let's just delete this. Every one of these little moves is a Fibonacci move. Every one of these little things is finding where it needs to go. And so your job then is just figuring out where does it need to go. I mean, it missed a 78.6 by a penny or two, right? But now it's setting up a double bottom. Look, it set up this double top. You can come down here and say, okay, look, there's a double top. Okay, it hit the 78.6. Where's the extension down here? All right, where does it need to come on this Fibonacci? And you can start, doing this all day long if you wanted to. So, okay, well, there's that buy fib. Here's where the price needs to go. There's the extension. There's these, liquidity. It's too crazy. You can do it. I have done it, but again, for my sanity, I don't. I like to stick to the 15-minute because of the 15-minute. The 15-minute. There's not much difference between the 15-minute, the 30-minute, and the 1 hour chart. I mean, it just shows the same thing, right? So, I like to flip back and look at the 1 hour chart just so I can see what the 1 hour candle looks like. Like, how did that 8 o'clock candle close? Well, it's a doji, right? Why is the last candle a doji? Well, it's because we're between the 7 and 8 9 o'clock hour. The market's just sitting there waiting for the 8:30 open. Now we could go and look at news. I haven't looked at news. I have no idea what the news is today. That would be smart if I looked at it, but I mean, maybe it's the market's waiting for news. I mean, ever since what, midnight? No, since yesterday at noon, it's been going sideways. It's just consolidating orders. It's letting people build up. It's building up steam. All right. And we don't know if it's going to fucking sink or if it's going to pop off. I have no idea. I'm in buys. Hopefully it fucking pops off. My analysis says it should pop off. So I'm in buys. Yeah. So at one point, do I start building fibs on the higher time frames and then the fibs are there for days. The fibs could be there for a week, right? That was gold, not Bitcoin. My bad. Oh yeah, the same thing. I'm waiting. Bitcoin's so bullish that, like, I think if you have the overall trading strategy, just buy and hold, and just don't have a stop loss, just buy, 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 you'd ultimately be winning. In the same token, like, I was looking at my Nasdaq yesterday. My Nasdaq's up like 36, 37% this year, which is bananas. Just because I'm just buying. I'm just buying, right? Like, if you look at a chart like this and you see an Elliott wave down into, like, if this is the order block, you could Fibonacci that. You see the Elliott wave down, just buy. Oh, look at this big sell off back down to this block right there, just buy. And you Fibonacci this, top to bottom, Fibonacci that. You see it come down here, just buy. You know, and so, like, my Nasdaq is bananas through the roof because it's just every time it goes down. I mean, you just buy, 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 buy. When you're in a bull market, maybe the best strategy is not even to overcomplicate it. Just fucking hit buy. Like, oh, I made an extra $100 today. Just hit buy. Just go buy. But that's not financial advice. So this is what we're looking at. They got 15 minutes. 15 minutes this fucking market opens. Probably supposed to be doing something more important, but weather blows outside. Super foggy out there. Gospels as well about update ETA. So this is why they say trading is boring. I'm deleting these two there, Mr. Calm. Trading is boring because you're just fucking waiting for the market to do something. But hopefully my little trendline play, my 78.6 play works out and we hit a fucking banger. We got two people currently in here. I wonder who are the two people in here. Open studio. Oh, look at here. That's not going to work. So that's it. What's gold doing? Gold's taking out this liquidity. And so, for the record, this red line is where I said gold was going to go. I put that red line on there at 26.31. I actually meant it to be 26.32 is what I called out. So if it goes to 26.32, that sucks. I'm pretty sure I put my stop loss not that low. But it is what it is. So we'll see. It's just taking out this liquidity. You know, it's probably going to come right down here to this 26.39 area where the sell candle is. Excuse me. So this is fine because this is what it's doing, right? If you have this low right here, you have this low, and you have this low, it's taking out these lows for liquidity. All the people who are buying, which is AKA my first entry, over here, taking out those people who are trendline buyers. So again, all the people who entered in this area on the trendline break, or all these people who entered in this area, taking them out right now, right before market open. We have 15 minutes. So, you know, it is what it is. Let's see if it'll come down and hit this sell candle. Because again, this is a virgin sell candle. That sell candle has not been touched. Market took off. So you could mark this off from the top of this sell candle to this area here is the gap, the fair value gap. Some people like to draw it to the body. I do wick to wick. But I mean, there's the gap where the market took off and it's just filling in the gap. So it's all good. No worries. But I'm in two positions. I'm in both. And so look, same thing with Bitcoin. Bitcoin come back down, hopefully tap the top of this area because that's a breakout, right? So if this is the consolidation area there, that's a consolidation area. The market broke out and it just came back in and touched the top of that breakout area. So this is what they call support turns resistance. It's just retesting these candles, and that's what it really means, right? So if you have a consolidation and the market is doing this and then breaks out, comes back down, and then goes. Well, what is it doing? Is this is a sell candles. These are sell candles that are inside here. So it's just going to come back in and touch the top of those sell candles, which is right here. Touch the top of these sell candles, and then hopefully pop off. And so look, that's what it's doing. See the big bull candle now? So it's just coming back, support turn resistance, and hopefully that's the last we see of it. Hopefully now it's gone. If this candle engulfs, we should be good. It's a 15-minute candle, so we've got, it just opened. But if this candle engulfs, and then even if it closes up here, if the candle, if we get a close up here somewhere, then we should be good in that trade. We can, well, rest assured that trade would probably hit our profit targets up top. So we're not in the clear yet. The same thing for gold. We're not in the clear yet. We really need to break this. Once it breaks above this, then we can say, okay, we can rest assured, right? But what it's doing now is no big deal. It's taking out that liquidity. All good. I wish it wouldn't. I wish it'd turn around right fucking now and go to the moon. I can book my profit and get the fuck out of here. Who's still in the chat? Put something in the chats if you're still in here listening to me. We got 2 people in here. It's all good. Who we still got? Now, let's figure out why, besides the, why did it come to here? 78.6. Fucking on the nose. Never fails, man. Never fucking fails. Look at that. 78.6 on the sell side. 78.6 retracement, then sells off. That'd have been a good sell. I think I was already in buys though. But I'd like to look at these other internal moves. There's the 236. It came close. Really close. Eddie, what up? What up, Eddie? So, the fun part of trading, we've got 11 minutes to see what this market does. I don't mind the fact that it's selling off because hopefully it's just selling off to get itself in a better position so when 8:30 hits, it fucking flies. Again, I am cautiously optimistic because we do have liquidity right below us. And so on the higher time frame, what would be safer, right? If I was a safer trader and I wasn't so damn risky, I would be buying down here. I'd be buying down here after this liquidity has been taken out. All right. You Fibonacci this move there. As you can see, I have it here. We'll go ahead and mark it though as the buy zone. But if you play this safe, you end up missing a lot of moves. So not that I'm FOMOing, I just realize that you could have a strategy that's super super safe and you miss a lot of trades, but you get in really good trades, or you could be a bit more risky, come to a smaller time frame, have a higher loss ratio, but also have a get into more trades and have a potential. So it's just kind of how your thing is. And so for me, I like on the 1 hour and a 15-minute time scale. And on that particular time scale, I'm showing buys right now. So just a strategy that I have to employ. I like the 4 hour just for reference, but I don't trade necessarily on the 4 hour chart. I'm a 1 hour and 15-minute person. I see divergence, 1 touch, 2 touch. Usually I like to see 3 touch on the divergent. 3 lows, 1, 2. The third low then is usually in my buy zone, and then I take it north. That's not the case today. We got 2. I don't know if it's going to give me 3. Again, it might, but I'm prepared. I did have one more buy limit in here at the 88.6, but I think I deleted it. I know I deleted it. We're just going to hold this one and see how it goes. And so, I mean, I could close everything right now and be up almost 3%, right? Let the broker refresh. Where are we at here? So on that, yeah, I could close out right now, be up 3% and just call it a day. But it's not really what I'm trying to do. And this is the struggle, right? Are we closing and being up 3% and call it a day? Or are we going to try to hit 10, 15% today? Most people would say 3% close it and be gone. They're fucking out of here. But if you're risking, 4% per trade and you're on 2 trades at a risk of, 8%, you're not really trying to get, yeah. So my broker just refreshed. I'm only up a little over 1% right now. So I'm not going to close out and just call it a day at 1%. I am, however, thinking about moving the stop loss on this gold. So I'm going to move the stop loss on the gold to my original spot. All right. So on the gold, again, my entries are here. I put my stop loss like down here. If it breaks this 88.6, it's going to come all the way down and it's probably going to go. So normally my stop loss would be here. But again, That's double bottom. It's going to take that out, and it's going to come probably much lower. So there's no reason for me to have it all the way down there. I might as well just save myself some pain and set it in this area. I do not want it to come down here. If it comes down there, it's going to take out this double bottom. It's going to go much lower. So I'll just put my stop loss in this area. And again, the take profit is way up there. Way, way, way up there. So we're looking, it says 4-to-1 trade. So we're looking at that area. What is Bitcoin doing? So I'm risking about 3% on Bitcoin, and I'm risking much, much more than that on gold. So that's like 1.5%, and that one's like another almost 3. So probably like 4.5 to 5% on gold. So it is what it is. Nicholas Zones 2636.3. Look at that call out. Look at that call out. Yeah, well, you're almost there. Oh, you think it's going to double bottom? Is that what you're calling out? 26, oh, 36.3. Basically, you're saying it's going to almost double bottom, clear out these bottom candles. Yeah. My stop loss is above that, so it's all good. I mean, below that. So if that happens, all good. We got 5 people in here now. What up, 5 people? Market open in a little bit. So if you're just joining us, the 3 people who did just join, we're in gold buys and Bitcoin buys. Bitcoin's basically at our break even. I I set this limit last night before I went to sleep and woke up this morning in a little bit of profit. I was not excited to see this because it broke the low that I was working in, but I had a proper stop loss at 1.1 and therefore did not hit my stop loss. But that makes me think, A, it broke trend line and now it broke the low. Either two things, either I'm in the wrong fib or the market has flipped. So if I draw this fib, it basically rejected the 88.6, but I don't think that's the fib. I really think that this is the fib. So it did break the low. Some people would call that a double bottom because it broke the low, but if you see where these candles are closing here on the left, those candles also closed there. So it did not close below the candles on the 15-minute. And basically, we could probably look at almost every other time frame besides that, and I'm sure it's probably the same, right? It probably just came down a wick. Let's check. Come down a wick and close right back above. So this is the good thing about switching time frames is you could get more clarification, right? These candles bodies closed here, and look how this just wicked through and rejected and closed right back above. And the last 4-hour candle, as you can see, is a bull engulfing, and so we're good. Like we're overall bullish on Bitcoin. Look at these 4-hour candles up here, how they're just dojis, which is kind of indicating a possible reversal. Doji, 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 and then sell off. But we do have engulfing, and it held this as support. So there is some positives there. Again, I think it's going to buy up. That's why I'm in buys. But I don't like the fact that it did come down right below that. So it is what it is. Gold. All right, we got 3 minutes. Market opens at 3 minutes. We'll see what happens. And then shortly after market opens, I'm closing the computer and calling it a day. Closing the computer and calling it a day. And we'll just see. I mean, it's hanging out right now. And then again, it just took uh, liquidity, right? So on a smaller time frame, we're seeing these triple bottoms. We don't play triple bottoms, right? We have the ability to play double bottoms, like I told you guys before, in the past. If the market wants to do a double bottom, there's an opportunity to buy, see if we can get a good push. But you do not play triple bottoms because that means it's going to break. And there's a perfect example, it just broke, right? So double bottoms cool, triple bottoms and they're on up, no good. Do not play triples. You can play doubles all day long. So exactly. So if we look here, right, we see the double top. Let me just delete that. All right. Double top. You can play that. You can play the double bottom, right? And we're not playing a triple bottom right now because we're above it. But if this is to break, then you know it's going to if this comes down here anywhere in this area, you know it's going to break and come all the way down. So that's why I have a little bit tighter of a stop loss because it's what they call a PONR, point of no return. It's either going to fucking buy up right now or it's massively going to sell off. One of the two is going to happen, and either we're going to be right or we're going to be wrong. And it's going to be within the first 5, 10, 15 minutes. We'll see how it goes. So that's what we're playing. Hopefully it buys off. 1 minute. Let's see what it does. One or the other. We don't know. We need to pray to the trading gods. What do you guys think is going to happen? You think it's going to retest there? We got 3 people in. We're just check Bitcoin. Bitcoin and gold. Here we go. I don't like how it changes the chart. It's just retarded. I don't know why it does that. When you go split screen, it changes the colors. It changes like why can't it just be my normal chart? There it is. Come on, gold. Come on, you fucker. Why? It's so strange that market opens and it's this slow. That's it. Mm. Gentlemen, it was not the open we were hoping. That was super slow. It's so crazy. Is there some sort of news happening that I need to know about? What is we're waiting for news in like a few minutes or something? Where's the news? Where's the news? So I use my FX book for the news, and you can sign in, and you could customize it the way you want it, right? So 7:30 news popped. We don't have news for another 4.5 hours, so there's no news happening today. FOMC, Fed interest rate decision. Okay, so we could talk about this for a second. Fed interest rate decision, FOMC minutes. That shit's already built into the cake, man. They already know. So they're already expecting it. Look, consensus is going to drop. They're going to drop the interest rates, right? So when you look at news, especially like NASDAQ or US 30, and you're like, oh, it's going to be a crazy bullish day because they're going to lower the rates. That, totally true. But also, look, you don't think they don't already know that? Look at how this has been pumping up. They know that the what the Fed's about to do. Look how bullish it is. It's already baked in the cake. So a lot of times, this could be one of those situations like, oh, you're waiting for this crazy move, but the move's already happened, right? But in the meantime, you could be sitting here. Nasdaq likes the 88.6. I'd be sitting there at the 88.6 right before news, and if news pops off, there's your risk to reward, right? You're going to shoot for all-time highs, and you have a very low risk and a very good reward. So put your limits right there and see if you can get a wick or be patient because you never know. It could wick all the way through and then come up and then go, right? It's up to you, but that's what I see. One push down, push up, push down, push up. News drops this afternoon through the roof. And I guess that's what gold's doing. I mean, if that's the truth, and they're going to lower interest rates, which they probably are, that's going to be risk off, which means gold prices are going to go down. Um, so yeah, I mean, it is what it is. Fed fund meeting at 2, volume will flow. Then yeah, yeah, yeah. That's why. That's why we're getting such fucking slow trading. But if the feds do that, right, and it's risk off, you would think that gold and Bitcoin would kind of move together. People would be selling Bitcoin to put into the stock or vice versa, so you never know. It seems like Bitcoin is a risk is the opposite, like a risk when there's higher risk in the market, people would go to Bitcoin and gold as a counter to what the market's doing. So, yeah. Anyways, okay. Well, I've already shown everybody my two entries and the risk that I'm taking today on both of those positions. So I'm there on both of those. Not the red line, excuse me. And yeah, there's nothing else to do. I got the stop losses set. I got the entry set. Let the market do what it's going to do. I've shown the reason why I took the entries. I've shown everything basically. Fucking Bitcoin, dude. Let's just watch this Bitcoin for a second here, because now I'm in drawdown. I went from like 3 to 4% up to now 1%, a little over 1% down that fast. Because if gold is going down and my Bitcoin is now negative. So maybe this is the lesson for the learn day. If you're up 4% for the day, just close it and take a fucking win. But again, I'm not really trying to catch 4% trades. I'm trying to catch 10% trades. So I mean, this is just retesting this order block, right? Anyways, that's it. I'm gonna take it today. You guys have going. If you guys have any questions, you know where to find me on the Discords, on Twitters, and all that good stuff. We'll see how it goes. I think we're still in good positions. It just didn't have the volume off the bat like we were hoping so, but I'm all good. I'm holding it, and we'll see how it is. All right, guys, have a good one. Let me figure out how to exit all this shit. Exit.